Welcome to the Community Sense podcast. I'm Tricia Northeast, a finance broker and a spending planner who's all about helping people feel more confident and less stressed about money. I believe financial well-being starts with simple, practical steps and conversations that make sense. This podcast is produced by me on behalf of Attwood House Community Centre and is made possible thanks to the grant from Hume City Council. My guest today on Community Sense podcast is Miriam Holme. She is an award-winning accountant and founder of Fab Tax Accounting and Smart Property Tax. With over 15 years experience, she specialises in helping small business owners and property investors simplify tax, build wealth and stay compliant without the boring bits. Known for her straight talking and approachable style, Miriam is passionate about making tax easy to understand and empowering people to take control of their finances. Welcome, Miriam. I'm so glad you could join us here today.
Thank you. Absolutely love to be here. And yeah, I'm really excited to see what we're going to be talking about. I try and keep things fun and entertaining. Money doesn't need to be boring. We can liven things up. So looking forward to it, Tricia.
No worries at all. Starting with you, exciting. How on earth did you get to buying a house at 21?
Yeah, good question.
Starting your financial journey there, yeah?
Yeah, well, back in the day, and I was thinking about it, it was just
Say, how old are you?
back in the day, back in the early 2000s. The prices in Adelaide were really cheap in comparison to what they
Ah,
are now. So I was looking around for a little while. I'd saved a deposit, but I'd also used a lender where you didn't need to have much of a deposit. So it was one of the first home lenders. I think they were South Australian based, not much deposit. It was 200 grand. And I'd saved also enough deposit, but I used that money to renovate the place a little bit.
ah,
So I'd always got brought up in around people saying just buy a house. So instead of that 20 grand that I'd saved, I used it to do a little bit of renovation. And a lot of my friends were going overseas and living their best lives overseas. And I didn't want to go overseas. I just wanted, for some reason, to get a house. And that has set me up financially for life, getting in the market early. And then eventually down the track, pulling out that equity to buy another property,
mm,
which, I'm so grateful for. And I'm so worried about kids these days and everyone else, how they get into the market when that $200,000 house is now $1 million.
mm.
Um, and I don't know how to solve the issues that we've got going on now. And it's
Yeah.
very hard, but
You
yeah,
said getting in the market early, and like 2000s was early for you.
yeah,
I'd already been in my house for 10 years,
yeah,
and it's better. It's not early in years, it's your age.
yeah,
And getting involved then. And yes, prices were better and incomes were different, and the percentage of the prices of houses to your income balance was different.
mhm,
But as you say, they're going overseas and spending the money and the holidays and the brand new furniture and everything else that they need when they move into a house.
yeah.
Totally adds to all that stress, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Well, and I never tried to keep up with anything fancy. I'd never done anything. I'd always worked. I started working at Hungry Jack's, and I've always had multiple jobs going on, multiple degrees, always learning, always working hard. I never really partied or anything like that. I didn't do the partying thing. I did like 3 months of partying at uni. But
Yeah.
other than that, it was always studying and working and just yeah, had good people around me and
Mm.
could see I just wanted to get a house.
Yeah. Yeah, brilliant. And as you say, that equity move on to the next property. Did you invest in, did you have the house, your first house as an investment property, or did you move into that?
No, it was a first homeowners grant,
All
so
right.
I had to live in it. I had to. I had to live in it. So yeah, just bought a crappy house in a good suburb.
Yep.
It's an on subdividable land, so it was slightly cheaper. And it was close to like the city, close to big shopping centers, ticked all the boxes, but it was for me living in.
Yeah.
Then in 2008, I bought the deal of the century. We'd read all the property investing books and knew we wanted to buy another property. We looked at the train lines. We were following someone quite big at the time, and she was saying this area was hot. It was a few hours out now of the city. And then right when we bought it, 2008, the market then went down because we had like the GFC issues. And yeah, that was my first like, wow, okay, let's just ignore this property for a while because it was not. And I tell people when they're getting into property, like you will feel disgusting. It will feel sick. You'll feel like you've overpaid. Like it's never quite like the best feeling to buy a property. And I felt disgusting after that one. And it was many years time. It didn't move, nothing happened because just the timing of it. And we'd done all the right things. We'd researched, we'd done everything. So sometimes like the timing isn't really what you think, but if you hold in long enough, it then has now also increased in value. But that one was, yeah, back in the day, it was 280,000 down at Seaford Rise, and I felt so disgusting after buying that one.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. But it's riding the market, isn't it? And
Yeah,
it's you've just got to hold in there, and it will turn. It does. It shows it every time.
yeah. Sometimes, unless you're buying in a booming mining bust city or something like that, then sometimes it doesn't. And yeah, I've had to deal with clients where they have bought in areas which have gone down in value.
Perth is a perfect example of that. At one point, people's mortgages were well worth so much more than the houses were worth, like
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands.
Yeah.
It is true. You do have to be careful. You do have to know what's going on.
Yeah, Queensland, like Mackay and
Yeah.
places, they bought like clients bought there to live, and then that went back in value.
Mm,
And then they're just stuck in that situation where there's negative equity. Maybe in Melbourne right now. I've heard that people that bought like a year ago, they're in negative equity situations at the moment.
right. Okay. Oh, good.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Like they bought a year ago and it's gone down, or they bought 1.5 years ago and right now they can't refinance because
Yeah. Oh, no, no,
that
no.
is,
There's a lot of people that can't refinance because, again, they've maxed out, so they're spending to that interest rate.
yeah,
And now the interest rates have gone up and they can't move.
yeah.
Okay.
And thankfully, we had an interest rate drop yesterday.
Oh,
So,
yes.
but I
Yeah.
think whenever I'm buying property, I always factor in a worst case scenario of what happens if interest rates increase, and
Mm-hmm.
then what happens if my tenants don't pay the rent.
Mm-hmm.
Because now there's a lot more in place for you can't just kick out tenants that aren't paying rent. There's a lot more regulations in
Mm.
place around that. So yeah, what happens if you get a bad tenant that doesn't pay rent for 6 months?
Yeah, and that's, the lessons, isn't it? It is a learning curve. Everything is with money as well.
Yeah.
And you've got client examples there as well as personal experience.
Yeah.
You're not immune, you know?
Yeah, well, that's it. Like even like some of my doctor clients get into financial strife because they've bought investment properties and then their tenants aren't paying the rent. And then
Mhm.
like, you'd think on a doctor's salary you'd be okay, but they're running into strife with some of these properties. And it doesn't happen often, and you can get landlord insurance and things like that in place,
Mm.
but you've always got to factor that worst case scenario with anything that you're doing. What is your worst case scenario from these? And not hide from those, like not put your head in the sand about those worst case scenarios.
Yeah. How does understanding the tax and the rules around all those things help reduce people's stress?
Yeah. Oh, and that's probably the extra benefit that I have had
Mhm.
is
Yeah.
that I like to study things that I enjoy. So I've always studied tax, I've always studied money, I've always studied finance, I've studied economics, I've studied law.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, then I apply it to practical scenarios here. Because like, what is the point of learning theory if you can never apply it?
Yep, absolutely love that.
So understanding the taxes is really important to
Mm,
know what the rules are. And that's where I like found this sort of niche in just sharing this education because we don't learn it.
Mm,
We only learn it potentially from what we hear from other people, and sometimes what they're saying isn't correct. And then the rules are always changing. So it is not easy, but that is where if we don't understand these things, then how are you going to get ahead if you're not learning these things? So I just started learning this because I wanted to learn it for myself and then also learn from clients as well. And then obviously 20 years now, seeing
mm.
everything.
Becomes a bit of a passion as well, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It's your life, rather. You're living your dharma, aren't you? Where my intended is to do this and to understand it all and to help people live their best lives through that.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so yeah, like, and that's the thing. A lot of people, yeah, there's just so many different tax scenarios where little rules can significantly change the outcome
Hmm.
of a capital gains tax on a property. Like a
Yeah.
little, there's a favorite rule of mine that like no, lots of people don't know with property, where if you live in a property and then you rent it out for up to 6 years, you don't have to pay capital gains tax if that was your primary place of residence. That's a really interesting rule. If, so if you're buying a property and you lived in it for a year and it was your own place, you can then rent it out for 6 years and not pay a capital gains tax. There's lots of different issues with that rule, but that rule, a lot of people don't know.
And it is then about bringing that forward to your clients because you'll have a lot of people that will do their own taxes and
Yeah,
think it's easy, da. They either don't get their best advantage out of their returns or they find themselves in trouble because they've claimed something they shouldn't have, or whichever way.
yeah. Yeah,
And
I think that's the thing, that it's finding that balance, because some people, there's nothing that they can do. And a lot of people are saying, Miriam, like, I want to get a big tax refund. What can I do? And in some circumstances, they can't do anything
mm,
because their employer is paying for everything. And then in other circumstances, you can definitely do things to legally like reduce your taxes. But it's more when you're starting to look at investments or businesses or that type of thing. So
mm,
a normal like person in a normal job is not going to be able to do as much as potentially someone that's looking at maybe doing a little bit of crypto, doing a little bit of shares, doing property. You probably haven't had anyone talk about crypto on your podcast.
no. No, I haven't gone there. I do have a girlfriend that's very clicked into it,
Yeah.
and to me, it's just like,
Yeah.
she
And
talks about it.
that's the thing though. Like and people, like I've seen people lose a lot of money on it. Then I've
Mm,
seen people that have lost the money and then learn how to make money from it. And it's always something when someone, I learn in a podcast from someone, when someone's doing something weird or unusual, lean in and try and listen and understand about what's going on. Because like 12 years ago, my girlfriend was at a boardroom table with me. She was raving on about Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin.
uh,
I said, shut up. I want to learn about business. Here you are talking about Bitcoin. I've come here to learn about business. Imagine 12 years ago.
12 years
I
ago.
jumped on, if I just listened to her and went, okay, yeah, I'll do some Bitcoin. But I was all trying to be business minded and stop talking about your Bitcoin. I want to talk about business. But if at that time I'd lent in and gone, what was Bitcoin at 12 years ago,
Mm.
and just listened to what she was talking about rather than going, she's crazy. And she's the one laughing right now because she's still got some Bitcoin on a little USB wallet somewhere from back 12 years ago.
Brilliant. That's real life resilient stuff, isn't it? It's like how long can you hold in on that, and then the market's going to change, and yeah.
Yeah, and that's what I've gone and what I realized. And from my end, from accounting, I get to see what everyone's doing. So
Mm,
all my mates were getting in on Bitcoin and crypto in 2018. And I'm like, oh my God, there's tax issues with this. People don't realize. So I started running webinars and got
aha.
hundreds of people on webinars talking about crypto and setting it up so it's under trust, it's under companies, it's like with a super fund. because my friends and family were doing these things. And I'm like, well, if they're going to be doing it, we need to be talking about it. And then everyone thought we were going to be multimillionaires back in the day. And then it all crashed pretty quickly. And everyone that had millions were celebrating, it was now worth nothing. So understanding that, and for me, when I invest in something like this, because I dabble a little bit with lots of different things, am I prepared to lose this? So we went
Yeah.
through the worst case scenario.
And
Don't
that
put like your life savings on this.
that is so key, isn't it? It's like, what's your play money for this?
Yeah,
Can I lose this without it affecting
yeah,
my family, my job, my food on the table, my relationships?
yeah,
You know, that's sacred. You know, this is
yeah.
play money. I've got $500 or $5,000, whatever it might be, but I can afford to lose it. It's not going to impact anybody else.
Yes, absolutely. And you're not getting too, yeah, you've diversified, you've got a little bit, like, yeah, for me, it was, I am prepared to lose this money. I'm putting on, I am younger, you know, I like to take a few risks. I'm not going to be relying on this on my retirement.
Mm,
You know, who has enough money to retire these days at the moment anyway?
yeah.
Another interesting subject. Um,
Yeah.
but everyone's super balances aren't quite what they need to be. So
Yeah.
yeah, for me it was, am I prepared to do a little bit of a risk with that,
I
with anything?
yeah. And I saw just what I want to talk to you about. Might not be on the same line, but I saw one of your reels recently where somebody had been forced savings by paying a HEX debt for
Hmm.
another 10 years.
Yeah,
And I have worked with people that have said, no, I paid off my HEX, but I'll just keep having my tax taken out at the same level.
yeah.
But your story is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. They were we've got to see what the end result is, but I mean, and that's where this person was a educated professional person, and they just got behind on their taxes for some reason. So, you know, there's always something that happens. So they've gone through a divorce, and
Uh-huh.
their partner had done their taxes before. They've moved overseas, just got behind on something, something little triggers it, and then all of a sudden they just put their head in the sand about it.
The life events, you know?
1 year goes on to 1 year, goes on to the next year, goes on to the next year. Because guess what? It's easy sometimes to just keep ignoring things rather than dealing with the issues and confronting it. And we sorted it out like really, like relatively quickly for them. But it's just sometimes we get that mental block and we go, it's too hard. Money, anything, it's just too hard. Put it in the too hard basket, and then something will trigger, and you're like, nah, I can't keep ignoring this.
Yeah, and it's when that stress level gets to the biggest stress that people go, yeah, I need help with it.
Yeah,
Sometimes it's like when people have overwhelming credit card debt and issues with debt in all sorts of places, or the tax man's coming after them, or whatever it might be. It's only when sometimes, unfortunately, they hit rock bottom,
yeah,
they go, I need help. And it's part of this is saying, this podcast is saying there is help out there that's
yeah,
non-judgmental.
yeah,
Reach out before it gets to that point,
right,
because divorce happens because of money stress, you know,
yeah,
health issues happen because of money stress.
yeah.
And if we can help avoid all of that, you know, and support you along the way, that's what it's all about, isn't it?
Yeah. And even like my own personal journey, I haven't always been up, 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 up.
Hey,
Like this time, like I
right.
talk about a year and a half ago, and I share it. Like a year and a half ago, I was in an unhappy relationship. I was drowning with 5 children, figuring out how to do life, how to
Mhm,
run a business. I was crying every weekend. I didn't want to show my face
mhm,
on videos and Zooms. You look at me now and go, what? I didn't want to listen to anyone or anything. I didn't
mhm.
like what I was seeing out there around how like life's easy, running a business is easy,
God, who
everything's
said that?
happy, Instagram's perfect.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
You,
yeah.
everyone's just like living their best lives. And here I was, and I should have been like happy. I should have like, I'd set myself up really well, but just something was not right with me. And unfortunately, it was that getting, and like I'd had family unexpectedly die. One of my accounting team members had died during tax time at like a younger 47 years old. So
Oh no.
all these things had happened, and I
Oh,
was just like shell shocked, and that was my rock bottom. Yeah, in that moment I could have gone, life's too hard, but I was like, no, I know there's something not quite right with me. What do I need to do to change this? Think about things that help get me back to where I am, and it was like the tiniest baby steps. Like
yeah.
it wasn't a huge overnight transformation. It was the hardest slog in baby steps to get back to where I wanted to be with
Mhm.
things. And
Yeah. And
that's
that's
we all go through that.
we do. I mean, I've got my own money story I've said many times, I can't even remember what it was now,
Yeah,
but it brought back all the energy and the gut twisting things that from the past
yeah,
because it was something that was up and I went, oh no, I can deal with this. See, I can't even remember what it was. But for 20 minutes, I was so ill with
yeah,
how's it going to work and what's it going to do? How am I going to get out of this? And it's like you said, one step at a time. Oh, yeah,
yeah,
been here, can do it.
yeah,
So we do understand how you're feeling when people come to us,
yeah.
we're
And
not,
and then they panic or sometimes and make irrational decisions. Like I'm dealing right now. I said one of my clients, the client got multiple years tax outstanding. Irrational fear they're going to get arrested,
yeah.
that something's going to happen. And then, like one client saying, I had nightmares over my multiple years tax outstanding. And then they come and do it with me. And they're like, wow, this was the easiest thing. So we get these fears in our head and we blow it up to be completely irrational. And then when you face it, you're like, wow, I had feared that for so long, and that was nowhere near as uncomfortable as what it was. But
And you can talk with the tax agent, the tax office, can't you, on behalf of the client.
yeah,
And we're getting this in order. We've had a life event.
yeah,
We need to give me 6 weeks
yeah.
and we'll have it in. Is that right?
Yeah, that
Hmm.
depending who you get at the ATO, some are really
Right.
nice people at the ATO and they are very understanding. So
Mhm.
anything to do with mental health, sickness, family, deaths in the ATO, it's something like they're not the big bad monster that people sometimes think. They
Mhm.
are basically you're dealing with a human at the ATO too. Most of the time, we are now dealing with a lot of robots. Press button to negotiate a payment plan with the ATO. So we will be dealing with more bots that might not be as sympathetic down the track. But these are just people working at the ATO as well. So there is that demystifying things
Yeah.
and going, hey, like I'm dealing with clients getting audited at the moment. You
Hmm.
can voluntarily disclose things before an audit and go, listen, I'm sorry, I made a mistake here. And these are the areas that I need to fix up. So the challenging areas that we perceive in our head, if you have a little bit of knowledge about things, if you start learning about these areas, you'll start realizing that you can use that knowledge to help you.
Yeah. 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 And have you always had such a great money mindset, or is it something that you've picked up along the way?
Yeah.
As a kid, how did you go?
Yeah. I'm very, very, very fortunate that I had family that got into personal development
Ah,
early.
yes.
So and then I have a personality where I want to learn. And then I have a personality where I want to work hard.
Yeah.
So I had the best of everything, which I understand other people in different environments wouldn't have had. But but I go, even me having at 10 years old, getting told, Miriam, read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, give me
Oh,
a book report on it. And me going, I want to do this. I love it. Had to do speech.
that is a school.
Sorry?
Did you do that as a school book?
No, no, no.
Oh, okay.
My family got me into it because they
Yeah,
were doing all of it.
right.
So, but year seven, we all had to choose a book on what we wanted to do a speech on. So my other friends are doing random books, and someone in my family encouraged me to do a book on how to read people from their body language. So in year seven,
Wonderful family.
I am in year seven. I'm delivering a speech to the class. We're my favorite song at the moment was Spice Girls. In year seven, I delivered a speech to the class around how to read someone with body language. So if they are touching their nose while they're talking, they are lying. If they are crossing their arms, then they are not. You're not. They're very. You're not winning. If they're open and if you're open, then that's a good sign. And I'm doing this from year seven. I did that speech, and I did not win the top class award.
You were too left field for them.
Pretty full on, but that was it. So, but then I've learned all of this stuff, and there's times in my life where I just was down. I was down. So it's constantly, if you want to get ahead, then you've got to be constantly listening and learning to this all the time. And then I'm fortunate that I work in this area. There was a time where I wanted to be a doctor because, I was smart, and smart girls become doctors and lawyers. And then I'm so glad that I failed the UMAT test. I really wanted to be a doctor. All of us girls, we all went in, and I think we all failed the UMAT test together. Some went on to become nurses, some got in the back doorway through paramedics, and then got in to become doctors. Some became doctor. Yeah, one girl went in the back way. It took her 10 years to become a doctor. But failing that test and the UMAT test was the best thing that ever happened
Yeah.
to me, because I was not destined to be a doctor.
No.
But that's the thing, you get taught if
You've
they're,
got too much EQ for that.
well, no, I would be a wellness doctor. I would
Oh, right, yeah.
like the different aspects of being a doctor, because, they'd come in, what can you do in 20 minutes? So I would have opened up a wellness practice, delivering multi different services, trying to deal with the actual underlying issues, just prescribing. Yeah, but anyway, we won't go into that. But yeah, all seven of us girls all failed that UMAT test.
Right.
Um, it just shows you, even if you fail at things, what can you learn from it? And it was the best thing that's ever happened to me, failing in that area. Don't
And
worry, anyone out there, if you fail being a doctor, there's other things that you could become.
what about things like, well, let's talk about how people can follow you on Instagram.
Yeah,
Is that you've got a mission at the moment for a raised audience, like I
yeah,
said?
yeah.
How
Okay, yeah,
how are
help
you
me.
going with that? Because I'm loving your reels.
Thank you. Well, I think what I realized when I was in my really down spot and just uninspired with everything, I was angry. I was angry at everything. And I'm like, okay, my headspace is not quite there right now to
Fair enough.
self out there.
Yep.
So I'm like, if people want to get ahead, they need to see it's going to be a lot of hard work. There's going to be a lot of downs. It's not what we're seeing is fake everything on Instagram, on everywhere. So I knew I had a voice. So it's
Mm.
been a journey of a year. I've always posted content along the way, but I knew I had a voice. So it's now just sharing that with people. My Instagram's Miriam Holme. And anyone really that wants to build their business profile, that wants to get ahead. And you know what? I cannot believe with Instagram, it's now finding people that we like. So
Oh,
when
good
I meet
riddance.
with a lot of people, they're like almost my best friend, because, and even like meeting you through Gabrielle and someone else, it will find people that we want to see. So anyone that follows me is similar to me,
Like-minded.
slightly a little bit like, they're not normal, vanilla, boring people.
That's so true.
Fantastic way for me, for any person that can't get out as much, to build a community, to build a connection, and you'll find your people. Like if you just can talk, and not everyone can do it. So if you can't talk like me, then you can just watch and comment. But it's been the most game-changing platform that
Mhm.
I've ever experienced in my 20 years to grow my business, to learn. I don't spend too much time looking at reels. I try and avoid that and more doing it from just growing my profile, being real, being authentic, and then that's also helping me with leads.
And well, it is leads, isn't it? But it's also then people, it's the online version of this where you're helping people understand that you're not alone and
Yeah,
there's support out there, and they may follow you for 2 years before they reach out and say, I need help or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm getting lots of messages that people, a lot of people are messaging me, and I don't know how I'm going to keep up with that as I grow because I set a goal of getting to 100,000 followers, and I'm like, go big, Miriam, because I
Can't
like it. Like I'm on
imagine that
track.
being you at all.
I'm on track to get like 50,000 followers anyway, or maybe 60,000. So I'm like, why
Mhm.
not, have a stupid, unrealistic goal? Because that's what you're supposed to have in life.
Yeah.
So there is this goal. If I don't hit it, I don't hit it. I'll try. I've got a few things that I could do, but it's more that the community that's getting created from it is really like it's people message me behind the scenes and they're like, Miriam, I'm a mum, I've had a child, I'm a professional and like an engineer. I want to do something to as a side hustle. Like, what could I do? And I'm like, I was that mum, like
Yeah.
when I was 22, 23, I was that mum stuck at home, babies, trying to get ahead, trying to figure things out.
Hmm.
And like, yeah, just the relatableness of I started my business because had babies. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I'd always done accounting. I always loved numbers. And then I just started taking on family and friends from my kitchen table. Like I remember every single client that I got first when I started. And it was like in my first year of trying to do this business, I spent a few $1,000s on insurances, a few $1,000s on software, and I got 10 clients. And I charged my 10 clients $100 each for tax. So I made absolutely no money. I did a Facebook post like, hey, I'm doing tax. If anyone wants help. And then I had about 10 people, my sister's friends, none of my friends at that time, maybe one or two, but it was my sister's friends, my sister's boyfriends. I picked up my first bookkeeping job, 40 bucks an hour. I was so happy with that. And then it just became Miriam. So my side hustle was Miriam, just get in 40 grand a year.
Right.
That's
Right.
all I wanted to do in the beginning. 40 grand a year. I had young kids.
Yeah.
And um, then now obviously I'm creating this monster of things. But originally it was just
Ah,
how can I help my family and friends? And that's the encouragement that I want to give to people out there. It's like people think they've got to come up with some like magic side hustle. It's like, what are you good at? What are you passionate at? What do you love? What do your family and friends need? And how can you turn that into a little side business?
absolutely. And it could be that you cook a meal for people. Actually, take that back because it might need to be in a food safe kitchen.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's the thing. During COVID and after, there was a time period where I didn't want to cook and nurses had lost their jobs and that type of thing. So this one nurse had set up this business where she just cooked food. She got her safety
Thank
regulations.
you. Yes,
She
it's
got it
I was
all.
thinking of.
She did
Yep.
everything. She was a nurse. And for a time period there, she set up a side business, promoted it on Facebook. And every Thursday, Friday, she'd do a list and say, these are the meals that I am selling. And I would drive to her house and get like all these meals from her.
Yeah.
And it's like and she liked doing it. She's gone back to nursing, I think now. But at the time, she loved doing it and she was passionate about it. She was helping people. She was preparing healthy meals. It's like people think they need this magic side hustle app idea. I'm going to transform the world.
Oh, exactly right. And they want it like this,
Yeah,
because what they see on Instagram and everything else, but you've got 20 years behind you.
yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That's the thing. This overnight success
yeah.
started at 20 or 19, 18. And I have honestly worked and slogged my guts out that whole time. I go back through my Facebook memories, my Facebook stories. I've been self-promoting myself for 15 years.
Yeah.
Like you'll see me waving my flag 15 years ago, trying, saying, hey, I'm doing taxes. I just helped, like I shared about 10 years ago, I did a Facebook post and it was, I've helped like 400 people for the whole month. And now we're like help 400 people a week type of thing.
Oh, wow. Brilliant.
Um, so,
But
but
it's not an overnight
it's that
success. Yeah.
consistency. And
Yeah.
it's if you want to do something, if you believe in yourself, if you back yourself, it's just you've got to keep trying.
Yeah.
Just keep trying. You'll eventually figure out a way. And I see it with people that want to start up their own small business. They'll try, and it's not trying. It's they did something. They did the admin, they did a logo, they did the pretty things, they did a website. Trying is, does every single person in your family,
Creative
your community
procrastination.
know what you do?
Exactly right.
I was saying, I heard one of my business mentors, he's like, if you open up a website business, have you pounded the pavement to let everyone know? But guess what, guys? We don't even need to pound the pavement anymore. We can just do some fun reels and put those out. And,
Mm.
there is, if you watch my reels, I'm not done with what I do. I speak about how I'm helping people. That's one of the things that I learned. A business coach told me. They said, Miriam, where are your tax tips? Because I was posting all these random things. And then,
Yeah.
where are your tax tips? How are you helping people? And I'm like, oh, okay. So I changed it up, did tax.
Fair enough. So basic accounting, bookkeeping tips for people that are wanting to start a business.
Yeah,
What can we start with to help people understand some of the requirements, the legalities,
yeah,
those sorts of things? Have you got anything in there? Because I know that I got caught out. Well, no, I didn't. Well, yeah. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this was due, and I didn't realize that was due, and is that an annual thing? And yeah.
yeah. So yeah, the basic bookkeeping tips. I'm always keep it simple, stupid.
I
Best
love it.
method
Yep,
on
the kid
everything. I
method.
have to remind myself when I do grand plans, keep it simple, Miriam. So I think in the beginning, the key things are, and I will do consults with people. The key things are to just make sure you've got your right structure in place. If you're high risk, if there's something litigious, if you've got lots of assets, then you need to go complicated. And sometimes people have these grand plans and set up all these complicated structures. But a sole trader starting out might be fine
Yeah,
for someone. So understanding a sole trader, that's an ABN. So if there's low risk, and so what I mean, like no one's going to sue you. So no one's going to, like, there's not going to be issues. So starting out sole trader, and then just keeping your records, keeping your receipts, and making it easy for people to pay you as well. So having basic systems in place. But often I'll see people and they are getting stuck in all this analytical, what are my first steps? Where it's like, go out there and sell some stuff.
yeah,
Why? If you're hiding behind things and not selling, then there's no business.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll do some consults with people. And like you've got the grant here, you've got the money coming in, then you're doing the podcast. But sometimes people can just get stuck in their head on things. And I think someone said to me, what I do is imperfection or something like that. They would just like do something, like some people get paralyzed by perfection
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
then don't do anything. Everything has to be too pretty. Whereas me,
Yep.
I'm like, okay, I am passionate about what I do. I generally want to help people, and then I'll figure out some things along the way. Is that going to be better going out there doing or getting paralyzed with everything needs to be perfect and not doing anything? But yes, you can definitely get stuck and with unexpected taxes, but that comes when you're making lots of money. So like people that will go, oh, I got stuck with taxes. It's because you made money and you spent it all on things that aren't deductible for the business.
Yeah.
It's
One of the best things I learned really early on was putting aside the taxes.
yes.
Absolutely. That has to go into a separate bank account, and that is there for when I need to pay my BAS and everything else.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that GST money is not yours. That 10% that you're charging on top. So when you get to 75,000 or more, you need to register for GST. That is not your money. Do not spend that GST money. That needs to go quarterly to the ATO. And then you have your income taxes that you have to pay, and that's where you need to keep that aside too. So people are used to being an employee. They now run their own business. They don't realize you have to look after these things. And you're responsible now for your taxes. Your employer is no longer going to be paying your super. They're not going to be taking out the taxes. You now are going to get all that money and need to have a system in place like keeping aside your GST, keeping aside your taxes, and keeping aside your super.
Yeah. And Tricia's going to get on her little high horse podium here.
Do it.
Women are so poorly looked after when it comes to their super. They take
Mm,
time off to have their kids and they don't pay their super. At
yeah,
the other end of life, they take time to pay to look after their elderly parents.
yeah,
And they might go back to part-time or two, 3 days a week, or they're self-employed and they don't work so much because they're looking after the elderly. And so therefore you're getting less money in and not paying the super and whatever else as well. And it's really restrictive. And
yeah,
people, if you can just put in another little bit, not financial advice,
yeah.
extra or keep on top of that, absolutely major.
Yeah. And what I find women do, and I've fallen into this trap as well, is we want to help people. We
Yeah.
volunteer our time. We want to
Mm.
do all these things for people. And I have to, like, I've got some single girlfriends now that are running around doing all these things for free for people. And I know financially and I say, stop doing things for free for people. Like, you can't, yes, early on in my career, I gave. But then at some point, you have to set boundaries and say no, because there are people in the world that are going to take advantage of women that are helpful. And it's like you helping people is not going to be putting food on your table for your children. It's not going to be helping you to try and buy that house you need to get into the market with. It's not going to help you put money into super. So there is this area where I see and I can fall into the trap, but luckily I'm too busy now. But I knew, like, say, for doing something like this with you, I was like, no, I want to do something to help the community with a podcast like this. But it's like, I don't volunteer my time now for a lot of things because I've done that in the past and you get taken advantage of, you get taken for granted. It's not giving the opportunities that you so-called think that you're
Mm.
going to get from it, like networking, like, oh, yeah, go on this, do this, do this. Like, no, I don't need to do those things now. I know I'll do
Yeah.
it real and connect in better. So it's using our time much better. But as a woman, for some reason, we think that, yeah, we've got to help save the world. I'm like, Miriam, save myself first before I try and save the world here.
Definitely, you've got kids, you've got to put food on the table, all those things. It's what did you say back there? And I thought that's so true. Oh, women forget to ask for the payment.
Yeah.
It's like you've done the work. And you see it in a lot of Facebook groups where people go, "Oh, can I just, borrow some time to ask you some questions?" Sure, my hourly rate is this.
My successful men clients, and I can see, like, I do meetings with people now, and I know if you're going to go well in business or not. Like, it's straight away, quick, easy. I can tell now within the first couple of minutes,
Mm.
are you going to do well in business? My successful business clients, unfortunately, majority of them are men. I want more women to be successful in business, and the men that are successful, and that's how I become successful. I've learned from men.
Yeah.
my mentors are men and they've been more than happy to help me. So
Yeah.
I don't really care, men or women, whatever, we all can learn from whoever. So, but I notice the men, they are sharp, they know their numbers, they don't make excuses, they don't let people take advantage of them, and they close the deals, they open the deals, and they are no nonsense, no BS. They get it done. Women, I don't know my numbers. I don't really know what I'm doing. This doesn't come naturally to me. Um, I don't really know these things. Oh, I just, I huh. Can you tell the difference? Who's going to be
Mm.
successful? Who's going to win in life?
Yeah. And it's getting that. I saw this really brilliant skit from Denise Duffield Thomas. Do you know her?
No.
Anybody out there that's in business? It's on YouTube. It's, excuse me, I hope I can borrow this, Denise. I'm labeling it for you. She's on stage and she does this thing where this is a man asking for the business and asking for what the price is, and I'm selling this item. And then it was the women coming along. Oh, would you mind helping me and supporting me in my business? It is brilliant. I might actually see if I can put the link in the show notes, because it would just turn my attitude totally around
Yeah.
how to promote my business and how to ask for
Yeah.
the business. And I'm here to make a difference.
Yeah, and we can do it. We don't have to be as like a man with
Oh,
things. We can do it in our own warm, like way, but we need to be assertive
yeah.
because otherwise, unfortunately, the way the world works, you'll get taken advantage of.
Mm, yeah. Beautiful. Thank you so We could talk for ages.
Yeah, we've covered a
I'm
huge
conscious
range of
that you
random
are
topics
volunteering your
here.
time for me.
I'm like, we've covered like some really full-on topics here. I love
And
it.
I know, and as I said, I'm conscious of the time because I know that you're really busy at the moment,
Yeah.
and you are always really busy anyway. But I know that you are really busy, so I'm conscious of that, and I want to honor your time and your gift to us. So thank you very much. Have we covered everything, do you think, that you wanted to get across today? People,
Yeah, I think so.
yeah.
Yeah, was there anything that you think you've learned?
No, I
Any
think we've
message
done
out there
brilliantly.
any
Yeah,
message out there that yeah, we've covered so much.
yeah,
But I
yeah.
think the thing is it's never too late to start with
Yeah,
this. It's
that is true.
never too late to try to do something in this area. I still feel like I don't even know what I want to do when I grow up. Like I'm still learning. I still want to do things.
Yeah.
I think that if you are passionate, and one thing I put in a lot of my content is no excuses.
Hmm.
I tell myself no excuses, Miriam. Like, because guess what? I play every single excuse, every single reason why I can't get ahead. And then I go, no excuses. If I want this, I have to make a way to make this happen. Because guess what? If we want something, we will make a way for it.
Oh, yeah.
So I've had to change how I think with things and go, no excuses. I've had to take responsibility for bad decisions that I made. I chose it. And that's empowered me to be able to get ahead and to navigate through extremely challenging times.
Yeah. And so, understanding, like seriously, it comes across that you know what people are going through. You've been through it yourself. You can empathize and sympathize and empower people
Yeah.
to move through whatever they're going through. I get that totally.
Well, my sister says I'm not that empathetic.
Well, maybe you've got a gentle glove kick in the bum type attitude.
There's a bit of tough love there, like, but like I understand things because I've been through it. I see as well what my family goes through. Like there's nothing easy about what life throws at us. And money is such an important and powerful tool that
Yeah,
if used well, if we um
yeah,
can respect and learn more about it, money changes so many things about people's lives. And we got brought up told money is evil, money is dirty, money is greedy. And it's like, no, to be able to have that money, to be able to help other people to do things,
Money is choice.
it's freedom, it's
Yeah.
everything. And
Yeah.
that's things like this community podcast is so like to be able to like do this is amazing. So Tricia, how
I am honoured to be able to do it for the community and for the community house, and grateful for the opportunity, definitely.
yeah.
And grateful again for your time. So I will wrap it up there, Miriam,
Yes,
because
my whole
otherwise
appointment's in 5 minutes.
we'll be going for lunch. Yeah,
Love
okay.
it.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much,
Tricia.
heart on. Really appreciate your time. I do. Yeah, I'll let you know when everything's up. Everything will be in the show notes about how to contact Miriam, her Instagram, all those sorts of things, their business details, and will all be listed in the show notes.
Cool. Thank you so much,
All
Tricia.
right, take care.
Bye.
Wow, what a powerhouse of a woman Miriam Holmes is. That was just the best podcast and discussion. I just can't wait to see it all put together and listen back to it, because I was so engrossed in what she was saying that I don't know what we even spoke about. I know we covered lots of topics. Ah, can't wait.